2 and pat. Wow, it's actually like live for now. That's cool. Just hopefully like all these notifications don't like randomly show up and whatnot, and embarrass me with who knows what websites I've been up to, or at least when Raka remotes into my computer and decides to use my computer. Who knows? Who knows what the search is now?
Yeah, I mean, like, why would I use my own computer when I can use yours?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So that way, when the FBI shows up, it's not at my house.
yeah, no kidding.
We will know, Raka. We will know.
I know, right?
It's all about that Area 51,
What is that? Like, well, seriously, what is that?
So some guy started a page called Storm Area 51. They can't stop all of us, just as a joke, and that shit blew up on Facebook. I think it has like over 3 million people that are listed as going, or I should say 3 million people on some watch list
like
now.
What?
yeah, and like the internet's just fucking full of Area 51 memes.
Really?
And it went from Storm Area 51, they can't stop all of us, to like free the aliens, and now it's all about clapping alien cheeks. Like that's
apparently
the internet for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's funny thing, I saw a Tarzan meme this morning, and it's like how to open up an awkward conversation, and it's like the question is Tarzan a virgin when he met Jane, or was he clapping some just saying.
Oh no.
Oh god.
All right, folks, welcome to the next How to Type stream. We got some new equipment here, so we're trying to different format, different technology. So it looks like it's working so far, which is awesome. And never not to have the best Area 51 memes, which is the dopest. So yeah, super chats are open. So let's actually talk about like super chatness and what that actually means. So for this stream, and actually you can hold on. Let's see. I have to actually send a text message because yes, I am down. Okay, and then ping the forgot to do something. We are live. I spelled life wrong. Whatever. Alright, so the point is format, #format time. Okay, so you guys super chat us, and we type whoever you tell us to super chat. Whoever is the highest super chat gets priority. We'll be closing super chats. It says open right now. It'll say close. Eventually, we're no longer accepting super chats. Just be aware that if you get outbid, well, you get outbid, and that sucks for you. But thank you for the money because it helps keep the lights on. That being said, you can also super chat again to add on to your current super chat. So in case you want to outbid, and not only that, other people in the stream can also add to your super chat to outbid other people. We've had a few bidding wars, and some people have won, and that was kind of interesting to watch. It was kind of hilarious, to be honest. So yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. So let's get this show on the road. Who do you got first up, Mr. Mello?
Looks like Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson. All right, fair enough. Let's get the red ink out. Do Mr. Wes Anderson, and we'll get that. Well, apparently it doesn't want me to spell Anderson for some reason. So yeah. Oh, also, there's a link in our live stream chat. There's additional merch we released on Instagram recently, and I'm going to pull up my Instagram right now and like actually put it in the camera, and hopefully it'll actually show, and I won't look completely like an idiot. But here we go. These are the new symbology and names for the types at cs.joseph. If you're not following us on Instagram, like, what are you doing? But we also released T-shirts for that too, which is pretty awesome. Wow, and there's also a dope drawing by Nightingale as well. That was pretty awesome to look at. But yeah, follow us on Instagram at cs.joseph. If you haven't seen the new type logos, we have new logos for each of the types as well as new names for each of the types. They're available on our Instagram. You can check that out. I like the Rogue. That's mine for ENTP. Raka, how do you feel about Bard? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of people get confused and they think, musicians, but they forget bards are also poets and masters of
thought manipulation,
convincing people. Yeah. So it makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's all good. So fair enough. Let's get down to business here with Mr. Wes Anderson, and we got good old Mike the Vegan here. So I mean, why not, right? So let's see, Wes Anderson Interview. Awesome. And if there are no additional super chats, well, guess what? I'm just gonna have to, choose one of my own. So Wes Anderson Interview on Rushmore. Talks about his movie Rushmore. Okay, cool.
Director Wes Anderson is here. He first came to our attention in 1996 with his critically acclaimed debut film, Bottle Rocket. The chairman of Walt Disney Pictures, Joe Roth, was such a fan of the movie, he made sure Wes Anderson made his next film for Disney. That film is Rushmore. It is generating a great deal of buzz surrounding its February 5th release and his efforts to win over a teacher. I am pleased to have Wes Anderson here to talk about this film. Well,
thank you very much.
What's interesting about Rushmore?
Thank you very much. I'm responding.
Is that, for me, it is sort of come out of nowhere to sort of have this buzz about it. Why is that?
Well, the other movie we made, almost no one saw, so I think that contributes to the out of nowhere.
It didn't explode at the box office.
No, it was released very quietly, and it sort of built up a little cult following eventually, but it had a few fans.
All right, I'm getting like informative responding control from this guy just off the bat. Like, I mean, am I out of my mind here? But like, he's not like moving around and flaying about in the camera like Rock and I are, usually. And Rock and Rocka, you know what I'm saying? And then like he's definitely responding, staying with the context, pretty informative from there, at least as far as I could tell. So it's gonna be funny if it's gonna be like INTP, but we'll find out. Probably an INFP actually. We'll see.
Fans that were in the movie business, like Roth, who kind of set us up with Disney. And then the other thing, the movie doesn't have a lot of stars. It's got Bill Murray, who's playing a supporting role.
It doesn't have a lot of stars. Talking about the individuals and like the value of the people that are in there, I think that is an FITE statement. You guys, you want to agree with that? Yeah.
No, I agree.
Also, Raka's type, he's an ENFP, and Mr. Mello is an ENTJ, for those of you that are asking. Awesome. Thank you, Stellar Memer, for showing up as usual.
But most of the other people are sort of new faces, so I think it was kind of a surprise to some people.
Your lead was, I mean, you looked a long time to find somebody, and then this guy just walks in and you say, magic.
Yeah, right. We looked for a year trying to cast this part, because it was the kind of thing where the whole movie is riding on the shoulders of this kid. The character's 15 years old, and we had looked all over America. We looked in Canada. We had casting directors. I went through 4 rounds of casting directors in LA, and I had them all over the place. Yeah. And at one point, we were even looking in England, even though the character is American, because we were thinking that he would be. We were thinking like he could be
super
a kid.
Informative.
Yeah, super
we
informative.
We were thinking.
Yeah, it's also a TE
and he's
statement.
I would say you could argue he's really affiliative, because every time he talks about what's being done, it's always the group. It's always the group. And like even when he made that one
very interdependent thing,
it still came back to affiliative, like what we do.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna adjust my seat here so I stop looking like I have a wooden fixture in a place I don't belong. So I'm gonna hit play here again.
Doing a fake English accent, which would actually be a real English accent, because we'd be using an English actor, and we were desperate. We were just coming up with really bizarre ideas. And then finally this kid, Jason Schwartzman, walked in, And I just knew within about 3 minutes that we could actually make the movie.
I just knew within about 3 minutes that we could actually make the movie. That's an SI and E statement, talking about the vision of the future of the film, like the fate of the film itself. That's also an abstract statement as well, in of its own right. So we hit and play. Oops.
We're going to have to shut
What did
down
he
the
have that
operation.
made you so euphoric?
Well, I think the main things were, the first thing is, I mean, the other movie we did is almost all with unknown, or people who just weren't actors, non-actors. And so I'd kind of experienced...
Are people who just weren't actors, non-actors? That's also a TEFI statement. Talk about the rank of people involved.
Constantly the labels.
Yep. Speaking of labels.
I had some experience with casting those kind of, people. And it's a thing where as soon as they start playing a scene, you can tell if they can be real or not. Yeah. Some, they can.
You can tell if they can be real or not.
Authenticity.
Yep, got a little bit of authenticity. It's also an SI statement, talk about his own experience in that particular standpoint. He's also being very interest-based there, because he's talking about like what they're getting out of it in that situation. So that's pretty interesting from that standpoint. But yeah, I mean, the evidence is in. Like, he's a classic INFP, so no need to really look deeper into that. He's an INFP. Wes Anderson is an INFP. Cool. What's next, Mr. Mello?
Hink. I'm probably going to butcher this. Hink. Schyma?
Schyma, I think.
Schyma?
Yeah, maybe.
Shema? Shamoy? Shamumumu?
How many different... We'll just pronounce it
Here.
every way it can be pronounced, and then one of them will be right.
Did I spell that right? HANKSHYMA or... No.
SCHYMA.
SCHYMA. Okay. I am bad at spelling, apparently.
I mean,
Yeah.
with how many different ways we pronounce that, I don't blame you.
Shemaya? Shmoo.
Schema?
Schyma. Okay.
I'm guessing it's Schyma.
Schyma.
Maybe we'll hear.
SCH.
Schyma.
Hank Schyma Raw. Guest. He's a guest. Tell us your best story. Okay. All right. Let's do this podcast with the guest. Let's see how this goes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Those of you watching, this is Stormfront Freaks Raw, because this is the live recording, or if you're watching after we've recorded, you're still watching basically all the behind the scenes, all the breaks, all the nonsense, all the technical fouls that don't seem to work. You're going to get it all if you're watching this one. So
We don't
welcome.
have those.
Yes. We don't.
Which one is
I
he?
still need to. Whenever
I don't know
I've got
yet.
like a month of free time.
Your right.
Is still doing something funny. I don't know what it's doing.
I think it's this guy right here.
Nice.
No way.
That guy in red. I think that's the guy.
I don't have a visual.
with you,
Either.
and the sirens are going off, and they're shopping. They can't decide what.
Yeah, search his name and find an image on Google Image Search and verify which one he is. I want to say it's the guy in the red shirt.
He's got kind of droopy outside eyes. Let's see, I'll share a picture with you.
Alright, cool.
It's the guy in the red shirt.
It's the guy in the red shirt? Alright, cool.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, yeah.
The INTP icon on the Twitter is not released yet, Alexander Sudeth. It should be out tomorrow. We're releasing 2 a day. So, INPs are tomorrow. Alright, cool. Let's go back to this red shirt man.
Yeah, I just did a lecture in Ohio University, and Tim Marshall. We were on Facebook after this event, and Tim Marshall was.
I just heard, and then we're talking about Tim Marshall, which means I'm initiating AF. Just saying. So let's keep going.
Saying that this is one of the most incredible things he'd ever seen. So, it's special if Tim Marshall says something like that,
Yeah,
right?
I
And
would
then right
say.
underneath.
You know it's special if Tim Marshall says something like that. You know it's special So that could be construed as an FE or an FI statement. I could argue both ways, but I'm going to put it down for.
Kind of sounds like a TE name drop as well as a value statement.
Exactly. So
he also like dropped his school, like casually, just kind of slid that in there with a little.
Oh yeah. Gotta love that FITE approach for sure. Let's add in there. He might be. I don't know. Is he like an ESFP? We'll see.
Underneath that, some guy wrote, "This was the first time I ever went storm chasing."
They're all like that.
Yeah, right. For those of you who don't know, the May 24th, 2016 Dodge City cyclic supercell was dropping photogenic, high-based, well-lit tornadoes, one after another, 2 and 3 on the ground.
Yep. For those that you don't know, that's informative. That's also TEFI, and he's movement as well. So informative initiating movement, starter type TEFI, which means automatically he'd be an ESFP just off of that alone. But let's verify first. Let's go a little bit deeper.
Over, not killing anybody on a good road network. So it's something I have waited for and dreamed of my whole life. So I can die happy.
Yeah. So Hank, I always love to ask this question anyone on the show because I think it gives pretty good insight about their background. But I think you're, one of the more have more of a diverse background than most of the people on here. What got you interested in weather and music, and how did that kind of all come about? And
it wasn't until I was about maybe I was really heavily inspired by Warren Beatty. You guys remember?
He can't finish his own sentences. Like he's doing the classic starter thing.
One of the first, maybe the second generation storm chasers that kind of was really good at marketing himself, and so he had a book on the web.
Talking about somebody else again, SENI.
But his photography was beautiful. You've probably seen a lot of his stuff out of Arizona.
You've probably seen a lot of his stuff as an SENI statement.
Went after lightning, and
he went after lightning. SEs again.
Documenting lightning, and then eventually, once you kind of get good at that, you go on to what?
Very movement.
And earlier when he said
this is something
I've been waiting my whole life for, with NI, I would argue almost SENI, but NI aspirational.
Exactly. He does seem like NI aspirational, doesn't he? Yeah.
Good point.
Definitely. That is a good point.
And if you want, you can sing this.
All right. Front freaks. No, you're listening, right? Are we listening or
listening?
Watching?
Let's say listening, because that's usually what we use it on.
That's TEFI.
Hello, this is Hank Schyma, and you're watching Stormfront. You're listening. All right, one more time. Hello, everyone. This is.
I'm a starter type. I can't finish. And I'm concrete. Yay.
Very good. Perfect.
I get it.
That's good.
While being pragmatic. So yeah, he's an
Now
ESFP.
sing that and remember all those
We
words.
got this. We got this. This guy's an ESFP. So pretty simple. So let's talk about a little bit why though. So remember, he's TEFI. He's name dropping TE. He's talking about the brand of his school, which is what a TEFI user does. They say it with that self-interest, self-importance with it. Talking about what other people are doing. He's focused on the physical, the storm chasing. He's not talking about the what if. He's talking about the mechanics of it within the context of this interview, and doing it from an NI aspirational point of view. So SE plus NI TEFI means he's SFP NTJ Quadra. We already know he's informative initiating movement, which is very apparent. So he's a starter type. We already know that he's an FITE user alone. So just being informative initiating movement, knowing your starter, and the only starter type that has TEFI is an ESFP. And then we don't have to look as much at pragmatic or concrete or the temperaments really, and we don't really have to look at. We already know he's an SFP NTJ Quadra, so by process elimination, he's an ESFP, folks. So yeah, there you go. Hank Schyma, ESFP. All right, what's next?
Solid. Cool. Alyssa Graham.
Alyssa Graham. Okay. And is Graham spelled the standard Graham way? Like graham crackers? Like the guy that thinks that, he's going to put a stop to masturbation if they eat graham crackers? That kind of Graham?
I have never heard of that.
Look it up. It's on the Wikipedia.
But I believe so. Graham.
All right. Awesome. Let me actually fit Graham in here. All right, Alyssa Graham. We have not done Frank James yet. No, we have not. Elisa Graham interview. Yes. Awesome. Elisa Graham interview. New interview with. Okay, live audition video. Elisa Graham. I imagine it's got to be the singer person. Hopefully this is the right one.
I'm on the phone today with recording artist Elisa Graham. Alyssa, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Chuck. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much for taking your time and joining us today. I know that you're not a new artist by any means, but yeah, you've been around for a long time. But there's a lot of our listeners.
The volume's not good
come to our site
on this video.
That may not know you. Can you give some background on how music came about and how it became a part of your life?
Sure, absolutely. Well, first of all, it's funny that you say that because I was just talking to somebody else about how, they always write these articles like, out of the clear blue sky, this new artist. And those
Funny you say that, SE.
working their ass off. But, so I can start way back, but I was a musician from, the get-go.
She's very movement-oriented.
Guitar when I was growing up. I was really influenced by a lot of the folk music that my parents played, lots of Bob Dylan and Neil Young and Joni Mitchell and Carly Simon. And then I was also introduced to jazz by my parents. My dad took me when I was really young.
This is what my parents are doing, SE and I'm going to relive my past through other people, which is a sign of extroverted sensing. She's SE and I.
Is that PE name dropping at all? Or is that
Maybe.
mostly SE there?
I don't know. Is this another ESFP?
College called Blind Man's Holiday that, I don't know, maybe some of your listeners heard of that way back. We were sort of on the college circuit, and it was really fun, but at some point I decided I wanted to...
She's not initiating new points.
...and go to study jazz.
Yeah.
So I went to New England Conservatory, studied jazz. This is the short version. Came out of New England Conservatory.
Yeah, she's definitely staying within the context.
I wonder if she's an ISTJ.
Oh.
Really?
Could be ISTP.
We had a great producer who is a well-known jazz musician named John Coward, and he produced the
Great
record.
producer
And so
who's
there were
well
really simple
known.
songs that became very big jazz compositions, and that record did really well. And
That record did really well. I'm seeing a lot of TEFI.
so now we have just finished a new project called The Lock, Stock, and Soul.
Now we just finished a new project. That was initiating, a new point. She just keeps going and going. This is a starter. Oh, Leanne Litzenberger actually literally said that at the exact same time I did. She's informing.
Yeah.
A lot of people refer to the travelogue. SFP, NTJ, Quadra.
This project is us getting back to our essential roots, which is really folk and singer-songwriter music. And it's very simple, and it was recorded with an
Very simple. It was recorded. SE. It's like SE Hero all over my face right now. Produced by this person, TEFI. Saying what is, she's super concrete. This is how I feel about music, and I hope other people love it too.
Stock and Soul title come from?
Yeah. She's an ESFP. Like, it's so obvious. Alright, who's next? So we can get away from this terrible audio.
So another really subconscious focused ESFP then.
Yep.
Donna Tartt,
Okay.
with 2 T's at the end.
Okay. Alright. Okay. Donna Tartt. Donna T-A-R-T? T?
Yes, 2 T's at the end.
Alright, got it. I wanted that on YouTube. What are you doing? Let's do it. 1992 interview.
Donna Tartt instant success.
Oh, that
wasn't
guy
quite so
again.
quick. Her first novel, The Secret History.
Worked every day.
Yeah.
Worked every day for 8 years.
You've always wanted to write, and for a long time.
For a long time, ever since I was a little girl, I always loved to read books, and I thought, what a wonderful thing if I could just read books all day. But writing is even more wonderful because it's a deeper level of involvement. You know, when you're reading a book, you're very caught up in it. But yes, writing a book is one step beyond. It's one. It's a depth lower. It's
Was
wonderful.
the first love fiction or poetry, prose or poetry?
Well, when I was a little girl, my first love, storytelling. I mean, you're a Southerner, you know this. Southerners love to tell stories, love to listen to stories. I mean, and then when I was in high school, when I was a bit older, it was poetry.
S-I-N-E, she's talking from her past. She's not talking about other people.
Did you dream of being a poet?
Oh, yeah, and still do.
Yes.
In vain.
Show me a successful novelist, and I'll show you a wannabe poet.
Well, it's true. I mean, in order to be a good poet, you have to have an ear for language so fine that to a novelist, it's really almost diseased. I mean, and I just can't help it. I mean, I have just a real narrative sense. Things present themselves to me as
sound
stories.
T.I.,
If I try to write a poem,
Abstract,
if I try to
I would argue.
concentrate on images,
I would too. I'm just like trying to hope to myself she's not ENTP, but I'm failing.
Why is that?
And had them published.
Definitely informative, initiating movement.
Yep.
The first things I ever had published were poems.
She just
when I
won't
was
stop.
young, when I was
She just
13 or
won't
14,
stop.
my first
What is with all the starters tonight, folks?
Yeah, even her eyes look
I've
inny.
written some short fiction and probably will continue to do so, but
I will probably
it's not
continue to do
my-
so
my
as I just
favorite
initiate
form
again,
of
and I'm going to
life.
inform
I
you every
love
detail
novels
about it.
because,
And I'm going to speak from my past all day long.
Only getting a glimpse
Facts.
of something. You're only getting a tiny little fragment.
Tiny little
of the
glimpse or
world.
fragment of the world, abstract.
Right.
Yeah. Why'd you transfer to Bennington?
Actually, on the advice of my friend Willie Morris, when I was a freshman at
On the advice of my
OMS,
friend T.I.
I was in a graduate level writing class. I was taught by Barry Hannah. I had gotten in, and
There's a name drop.
He said he convinced the others that you were a genius.
Barry can convince anybody of anything.
That's why we're letting
Barry's a
this
great
18-year-old
talker.
in.
Barry and Willie are both great talkers. They could, they could.
So
sell
you
the
got
book
in this
and read
writing
it.
course, and then Willie and Barry said,
Well, they said that and they were quite right. I mean, that I should go someplace else and see what other people were doing. I mean, schools in the Northeast then were very sort of cutting edge, and the thing was minimalism, which I had never heard of. I mean, everybody was Raymond Carver and Beatty, writers I had never heard of it at all. And, I was, the books I grew up reading were Dickens, were Mark Twain. I mean, I was just, I'd never seen a copy of the New Yorker, I don't think, until I was 19
how
years
about
old.
Faulkner and Eudora?
Sean B., it's
I
an
love
FE
Eudora
statement.
Welty,
T.I.
love
is
Eudora
linked to
Welty.
FE.
And I like Faulkner, but
So when you're talking about like on the advice itself is attached to extroverted feeling, basically. This is why, and TI, it's because TI users are trying to get you to listen specifically, but it's an FE statement. When someone's receiving advice, it's from an FE point of view, right? And how she's conveying it's a TI-FE statement, basically.
And it's not so much like TE where you're absorbing the information. It's kind of like, I have my TI system, and here's the advice over here.
Yeah, it's like an input to a processed point of view. No, yeah, but it's the person told her to see what other people are doing is not an ENTP statement. She's not talking about herself in that regard. She's saying this was the advice I received, which was to go see what other people were doing, essentially. So let's keep going.
Faulkner's, I have to, I mean, in a certain sense, one has to read for pleasure. And Faulkner's a genius, and one loves to go through his books and see how they're constructed, and they're amazing concoctions. But just in terms of reading for pleasure, if I were sick in bed in the hospital, I would not ask my mother.
Honestly, like, I'm not really seeing so much of the pragmatic in this one. I'm kind of seeing a little bit more affiliative. Yeah. Me too.
Because
I'm leaning more ESFJ, but even so, we can look at more TE. Let's look at another interview. Donna Tartt interview. She needs an exorcism. Wow. What a great stomp.
Who knows why Fabricius painted the goldfinch at all? A tiny, standalone mountain, gleeful, you don't know what's going to happen next. And I don't want my books ever to be an amusement park ride that's sort of very predictable, up, down, and you wind around the track and end up in the same place. I want the car to...
I missed it. Say again.
I was asking when she was talking about that if that was TFI, because she's talking about like what other people are thinking, how she feels about her books, but I guess I could also argue that's NI, like, but
right.
I don't know. Well, I need to hear more, I guess.
Fair enough.
Jump the track. I want the car to be out in the woods somewhere, and you don't know where you are, and you are wondering where the amusement park is, and you don't know how to get back. I want there to be real danger for the, if there's real danger for the character.
When you say I want, it can also be an SI statement when you say I want, so just be aware of that. And right, Steve Johnson made a point about FI Nemesis. I kind of agree with him on this one. I'm getting more ESFJ because it seems like she's talking about doing the right thing as a result of her writing. It's not really being very pragmatic in that regard.
Yeah.
And you know, and no, her appearance is not SE at all. This is an SINE appearance for sure. I really think she's affiliative, and her abstraction could be coming from extrovert intuition being in like from a
strong position.
Not a pessimistic, but an optimistic slot, like a child, right? So,
right.
And she's only saying what is. She hasn't really abstracted that much. So let's keep watching. And she's talking about a system too, the system of writing that she's following. But again, let's look more for more concreteness. Try to see if you can extract abstract from this, if you can.
There's real danger and surprise for the reader as well. For me, I really feel if there's no surprise...
Danger and surprise for the reader as well, you know, okay? That's a FETI statement.
Surprise for the writer, there's no surprise for the reader. You always have to be writing at the risk point. I always do anyway.
Is danger...
You always have to be writing at the risk point. I always do. That is systematic, for sure.
Systematic TI.
Yeah, systematic. Let's keep going.
Is something that has big meaning to you? The sense of the confrontation with danger?
It's something that I think gives a great sense of liveliness in work and a great sense of fun as well. I want
great sense of liveliness, a great sense of fun. It's like ISFP shadow, experience. Basically. Yeah, critical experience.
Reading should be fun.
Reading has been essential to your life.
It has, and continues to be.
I mean, sitting in the library, you read everything you could get your hands on when you were working at the library.
I did. I started working at the library when I was 14. And
you said Dickens went from outside to inside, so it became part of you.
Oh, yes. Looks like I lost
that's the wonderful thing about...
Okay, lost the stream, looks like. So, sorry guys, I think I might have lost the stream here. So. Let's see. Glad you guys are still here.